Hey guys! I'd planned to start off actually in the world. That doesn't seem to be happening right now. I'm kind of thinking I may have just found the magical little balancing point at which Space Engineer says nope versus yeah, sure, I'll do it. And I think that balance is somewhere around the 40 mod limit mark because I loaded this world just fine about 10 minutes ago with 39 mods, went back in and added 2 mods to it, and it decided to do its little dance of, I'm going to pause on spawning in. What is up, everyone? My name is Farrell, and we are here for a little bit of chill-out survival tonight. Not going to try to tackle anything big tonight, because I need to just relax, and that way I'll be in a bit of a better mind space, hopefully, for the PvPvP stream tomorrow. And also just as a way to kind of come down off of the PvP, well, not PvP, PvE antics in Uncooperative. So, we're over here in a little bit of a landing ship that I've put together. You can't see it very well because it's a very dark blue, but it looks really nice when you get on the planet. This thing should be able to land under its own power. However, having said that, I am also remembering that I've only really tested this in creative, which means it doesn't really matter what I've done to this design. So, let's just make sure I've got everything actually online here. Reactor's good. The reactor's got fuel in it. Right. Yep, we've got fuel. And basically, I'm not starting with much going down on this. What we do have on this particular craft is we do have a refiner, we do have an assembler. None of them boosted. We do have Bob. I have thrown that on here. And let me run down the list of mods that I've got here, because it's going to take a while for us to get down there and land. Interior Rama stuff, shutter, solar panels, big gate, hydroponic, aerospace navigation lights, ammo management controls, azimuth complete mega mod pack, blast door sections, camera panning, not that I have a camera on this, the ARCM cockpit, because I want to try to play around with that a little bit, disable highlights so everything doesn't turn into a giant glowy yellow mess when I look at it. We've got Edge Be Gone, hover engine, HUD compass, which you can see on the screen there. Just another colored HUD, the MA nav balls on here, modular airfield runway because I want to play around with it. Nanobot, you can see I've got sitting tucked away right on the top there. The OKI Grand Weapons bundle, just to play around with that as well. Plate parts, power cable blocks, the reworked armor panels and armor ramp mods. Riptide, CW, and EE continued. I've got 3 different sign packs on here for LCDs. Scratch Be Gone, Screen Gunk Be Gone, Shell Steel Scaffolding is on here. I've got 6 dice reverse engineering display screen textures. It doesn't seem to look all that 100%. If I can kind of go over here, and it seems to be very odd in how it's implemented because the cockpit hasn't updated itself, so that one may be broken, but the door panels on the front here and the oxygen vent, you can see those are indeed in that state. 14,000 feet, plenty of time. In addition to that, we've got Space Just Got Real, obviously, because it's very dark. Text HUD API, 4 UOH mods on this one. The Catwalk, the Heavy Armor blocks, somehow 2 different versions. Don't ask me how. It must be a weird thing of how the mod is named. And Megastructure. Warbros featuring Ryder. I have his modular atmospheric thrusters on. I do not have the modular thrusters from Uncooperative on. Mod Labs on ramps for Warbros, because that goes with it as well. And, of course, Whip's camera overlay, because I can't stand Keen's default camera. Having run down all that, what do you... let's see. No, 10,000 feet? Plenty of time. So how are you guys doing tonight? Hopefully everyone is doing pretty good. Getting along with Monday, such as it is. Let's see if I can give you guys a better look now that we're a little closer to the planet and starting to get into the atmosphere. So, it's not a very fancy lander. It's more... Oh, well, actually, yeah. I gotta watch it when I fly this thing. I completely screwed up on that spot there. That back thruster is gonna rip out that down thruster. Oops. Me bad. So I'm gonna be pancaking this one and then basic survival lander, just a bit smaller than the usual one, and amusingly enough, 2 blocks wide on the inside. Muhahaha. Which makes it very easy to mount the solar panels to, just makes it difficult to mount everything else to, including the engines. It should have enough thrust here to be able to fly as soon as we say turn on some dams and turn on some engines. So yeah, I'm just coming down on top of a survey site over here. In fact, I'm kind of thinking of maybe angling it down a little bit. I'm going to come down on the ice per se, maybe a little over in that direction. Kind of like this little plateau-like mountain here. Getting down the lake's not going to be fun, but... Oh yeah, I absolutely could easily land... Oh, that's right, I can't... When I brought this down last time, I pirouetted to stop my forward momentum. But I don't want to do that, because thruster damage is most definitely on. But, as you can see, she is holding the hover nicely here. In fact, that's actually not a bad spot to just drop down here, maybe a little further forward. You can see some resources over there. Nice, beautiful moon rock there. Already wrecking that downward thrust. Let's just get down. There we go, that ought to position it nicely. Get down before I lose anything else, and that's getting a little... Oh! Okay, not the smoothest landing. She's designed to come down without landing gears, just because I want to have the flexibility. Power off, damps off. We're down. So, what do we got in here? Well, let's, for starters, take the helmet off so I don't choke to death here. I've actually kind of used the half blocks on the outside of this, along with the refiner on the inside, and you can actually walk through the whole enchilada here, which is pretty darn nice. There's a bit of lag there, don't know where that came from. Med bay, assembler, gyro, oxygen farms. You know, obviously not airtight, so don't take this thing out in space and expect to hold an atmosphere in it. And, you know, a door that you can get in and out of, a pretty nice wide area here, and that I just throw in case you actually do happen to have oxygen or airtightness enabled, but in this world, I don't. So, we are down, and you know what? I'm not really worried about tearing this thing down. Usually it's a case of you're like, oh, I need to tear down the lander so I've got the resources to build up a base. It's like, I can't really be bothered. It's a nice defensible structure if I needed to defend against dags and whatnot. I could always just seal up the door and just wait out the night if I want to. I've got solar panels in 3 directions, so I should be getting pretty decent charge, and yeah. Alright. So, what do I have? Oh yeah, and I've also got this connector down the bottom here, because you know, it's just really annoying when you're trying to go out and do things. You gotta keep climbing into the system. I am cheating myself a little bit because I'm going right with elite tools and I've got everything cranked up, so this is by no stretch of the imagination realistic survival or hard survival. It is, I'm just here to have fun survival. Now I could, like I said, put wheels on this thing. It wouldn't be that hard. I could very easily just rip off the side thrusters. There's more than enough motors and steel tubes in there to do that. This thing's taking some damage. How bad are we? Oh, I gotta place all that fun stuff, don't I? Really nice if Keen would let you lock the toolbar. That you could say, oh, I want to keep these items in that slot always, and don't swap them out. Yeah, some construction components and motors. I can live without it. It's a lot easier to just grind down all this stuff than to take out the other stuff. And the other thing I should also probably do. Yep, because I don't have it set. Thank you, Keen. Not making a color palette persist across survival and multiplayer. Or survival and creative modes. Should still be set though. Aha! Painted pink color. Set the current build color. Might as well just tell Bob to get rid of that thruster because it's not doing me any good and it's only gonna act. Just to keep it balanced out, get rid of that one too, and it's 2 blocks. Remember to turn him on because he's not on. Bob, wakey wakey. Apparently you found landing gear to repair, but that's about it. Okay, game is being picky again. No, I'm not going to do that. I am not going to be Salty Feral tonight. I am going to try to enjoy the pretty game here. Just turn on creative and be done with it. You know what? I could. Yeah, I absolutely could, but there's also something fun in just being able to build something cool off of what you scavenge up from the world. So I could, but then, you know, what would the point in building a mining craft be at that point? You know, because I don't need to mine. I can just build and place blocks immediately, and everything is perfectly fine. Why would I need to build up a cool base? Because, you know, it wouldn't be a functional base. It would just be a, yeah, I can just place blocks everywhere kind of base. Like, well, yeah, place blocks everywhere kind of base. No, in all seriousness, I just kind of want to play around with some stuff. And there's also some, I do kind of want to play around with, I don't know if you guys saw it in the workshop yet or not. There is a new mod out. I'm going to see if I can pull it up. You guys aren't going to see it on screen because I don't have that enabled. Just going to suck, but one sec. Let me see if... Come on, where are you? Pam. Pam, front and center, please. Aha, Pam Auto Miner. So it is definitely out on Steam. I'm going to copy-paste the link to it, actually, here. And this looks like this is going to be a pretty slick way of being able to actually do an underground base. Because, to be honest, that's what I really wanted to do tonight, was work on the underground base. However... Keen's update for the multiplayer patch appears to have broken, well, everything with my underground base set, and I don't want to actually even load it up for fear that they're going to fix it, and then I just wind up in trouble, because now I've done things that could make the grid not really work all that well anymore. AKA grids inside of other grids. I really gotta revisit that world and at least just see if I can tweak the sandbox file. So I really would like to be working on that, but, you know. It is what it is. To build myself a quick and dirty garage. And yeah, I'm also not playing... To drive those of you wanting an insane survival experience even more nuts, I'm not playing with any sort of PvE at this point. At this point, I should say. I do plan on adding some elements back in as I go, but I don't want to do it when I'm getting set up, because inevitably what you wind up with is needing a heavily armed lander to actually survive long enough to actually get the resources you want. So I'm kind of cheating. I'm sure I'll be throwing some stuff in soon enough here. I want to seal this off. But yeah, it's like I said, chill stream. I just want to relax, have some fun, and maybe actually for once, try to pay attention to chat. And yeah, Richard Carey, I believe he is fine. It wasn't so much canceled because of the hurricane. It was canceled because of the rain noise, from what Wasted was saying in his stream last night. That just the amount of noise coming out of the rain hitting the roof at Shaq's place was just ridiculously loud. So trying to do any sort of streaming would have been pretty difficult. And I can definitely understand that, because I'm going to be potentially facing that tomorrow as the remnants finally pass overhead where I'm at. However, I'm not staring down 10, 20 inches of rain. I'm looking at maybe 2 where I'm at, so no worries. Let's see. Actually, I'm realizing he could start to try to grind this up if I'm not careful. Sure, it'll be fine though. I need to get solar panels over on this thing. Just make sure I've got a smooth-ish ramp here. Perfect. Alright. Ooh, is in a good spot to be ground down here. That, and honestly, I've never tried to do a survival lander before, so this is kind of a little bit of a learning experience here. I'm not really all that fond of large shipbuilding anyway, so let's take down just enough, and I mean, yeah, I could engage Bob with this sort of work, but you know what, let's be honest, I don't have that much of a reason to need him just yet. Let's see, so I got my little cluster solar panels, which I like these guys, because I can fit them a lot more places than I can a traditional solar panel. Including on the outside, don't want the centered one. For once, I want the non-centered one. Just because you can do neat little... That and these work out better on vehicles anyways. It's a lot of stuff I don't seem to have. And I did not load myself down with that sort of material. For that matter, Bob is not grinding those down. Bob, what's your deal here? I did turn you on. I did use the paint right out of you. Got walk. Let's not use the ignore color. Definitely the grind color. Do not grind neutral. Yada 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 yada. Thing is well within the area, including half the base there, and he's not doing that either. Required input. Max required input kilowatts. Should have plenty of power for that. Can't already be having a power crunch, right? Yeah, I do miss the thug from time to time, but at the same time, yeah, I kind of do want to play around with some other things. Vector's fine. Battery's fine. Talking about minimal power usage here, so that's not the problem. Yeah, that thing should be blasting away like crazy. At least on the armor blocks there. Oh, Bobby! What's the deal? Well, I mean, now, okay, that's why. It's complaining about... Yeah, I need to turn... Grunge if we'll get stuck. There we go. That might just help out a little bit. Might just also confuse it, too, because now it's... That Bob's not in a great position on this lander because it's right above the bed bay. It's the only way I could pipe it in without having to refit the entire hull again. And the net result of that is... Yeah, it doesn't like to pass things through said med bay very well. Why are you not... At 16, the solar cells are all there. The tubes are all there. See, I'm just kind of eyeballing the whole survival thing, too. By no means is this... Oh, that's why. They're just outside the... Alright, I'll move the ship. I'm trying to eyeball what needs to really go in the survival rover. So this is... It's a little tougher in the respects of... I don't want to have 100% confidence that I've got all the materials I need. So there will probably be a bit more mining that I'll have to do, especially off camera, to kind of catch up here. And that's Okay, it wasn't quite the landing I wanted to have, but close enough. Still no weldies. Let's also turn off his range. Now that I know I am most definitely in range. You should be having no problem welding this up. You've got large steel tubes on board. What are you doing, Bob? Wanted a nice, quiet, relaxing evening, not a I am going to ha 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 make you manually do this sort of stuff. Well, that got confused, at least on that one. So, Nebula Grid and construction components. Alright. I don't have easy inventory on here, because yeah, I'm a little gun shy on that one after what we found out on PvP the other day, where that was most definitely behind some pretty nasty lag that was happening on the server. Alright, so I'm gonna need some metal grids. Fortunately for me, I don't have the materials to make it. In fact, I didn't even put a didn't even bring down detector components for this thing either, so I am completely dependent on the old Level 0 Mark 1s here to go scouting. Let's just toss all that stuff back. Take enough iron plates with me if I can get out of trouble, and can't get that there. I did bring down 5k of ice with me, but I mean that's obviously not a problem. There's a lake over there. Let's find out what you are, friend. Tell me you are silver. Okay, so I've got bottles. It's pretty darn useful. Am I going for one large base or smaller ones that are spread out? I'm really kind of going for one large, I think. Let's see, silver. Oh, wait a minute, that's not gonna work. I always do that when I bookmark silver. And I can't understand why every time I go around, I always find silicon instead of silver. What else do we got out here? I mean, this is all terrain. I have not been out. That's going to expire in 18 seconds, so no big deal there. I just liked when I did a quick fly through the area in spectator camera, which I do have enabled, by the way, that I liked how it looked. Really kind of nice, distinctive terrain without being too ridiculous to try to move around. Thank you for refilling the hydrogen finally. It's only 15%, you know, way to make someone nervous there. Should have iron deposit, I'm hoping, around here. Something. Come on, I saw it coming in, game. You can't hide it from me now. I saw... There it is. I'm going to assume this is probably iron, but... my luck, it'll probably be everything but. Let's see what we got here. So around this area, right? Game. No game. It's not funny. Aha, there it is. I just need to basically come down right on top of it. And then, okay, magnesium. That's not too deep. That's good news from being able to turn on some PvE type combat in the near future, but in fact, really good news. Apparently this is a massive magnesium vein underneath me here. Magnesium, magnesium. Ah, nickel. I saw nickel. Where are you? I saw you at the corner of my eye, nickel. Get back over here. Nickel. Nickel, nickel, nickel. Okay. The other thing that I'm kind of thinking about with this particular base is how much I'm going to be able to dig out from... How much I'm going to be able to dig out from around here. Because, admittedly, I really would like to do an underground base. The trouble is, voxel deformation is definitely... Well, just voxels, period, are a problem.
Inventory full.
And I suspect that is why I've had so many issues with the underground base that I've been building, is just all of the excavation work that I've done on that map. Just, no, the game does not like that at all. Hey, you're still trying to tick away and build that, aren't you? Nope. Munch on that as soon as I turn fire back on. That's gonna drain my batteries pretty quick, but so be it. And like a fool, I didn't bookmark the nickel location. Apparently, I had one job to do. Object detection with a camera block, ray casting, and wonder if it's possible to convert a live camera image to production using scripts and block settings. There's one potential problem with that I know of, and my understanding is that ray casting off of cameras only really is reliable if it's an enemy grid. If it's a friendly grid, it doesn't necessarily ray cast it. There's also, I guess, what I would kind of question would be the level of accuracy with it. It's the nickel down there. I just gotta find the hole. Where'd Farrell make the hole? Nickel continues down. So it's nickel and magnesium. There's usually a third item. There we go. Oh, there's usually a third ore that shows up with those. Maybe I'm wrong. Get the stone because I'm gonna need that. This time, Mr. Farrell is going to bookmark. There we go. Alright. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, I see silicon somewhere around here. That's probably the third ore I'm thinking of. Yeah, could you do a lot? I mean, basically, it technically should be possible. I would just question the level of accuracy you're going to get and the kind of delay that you're going to actually get while doing it. Because, I mean, you can kind of there's, how was it? Basically, you can take a computer model and use it to, like, simulate how light travels through a lens to try to sort of recreate original images and correct defects and whatnot. But that, how well SE would actually handle that. I mean, especially depending on the size of it. That's silicon here. Where are you? Trying to stay low enough that when I inevitably run out of hydrogen, then I'm going to be okay. And, alright, there we go. Silicon. Which now I can properly name XIL. Or I guess I'm just gonna be silly. And nope, there is definitely no ore detector on this sucker. Yeah, because I needed to make a challenge for myself. Just a little bit of one at least to start with. That's okay. I mean, really, the ore detector. I mean, when you get down to it and you start working with Essie's ore detector, and I'm trying not to be salty here, and probably failing horribly at it. But really, when you kind of start talking about the ore detector, it's just a case of sort of like not worth it, kind of, especially for the small ship variant. I mean, you're really not getting a lot of detection distance off of it, even when cranked up. So you have to go through all sorts of rigmarole to get it to, you know, to mount a large ship variant cylinder, basically.
Full.
You want to pull me from that? Thank you, game. For some reason, it had me completely wedged in the ground there. Let's see. Silicon. Going back into a crouch, please. Okay, close enough.
Inventory full.
So you get to this point where it's like, okay, well now the only way to make this feasibly work is to load up, you know, a mining grid with a large grid ore detector, which is, it's like as much as we do these kind of neat little workarounds to make the game viable in survival, it shouldn't be something that you have to resort to, you know, potentially seriously clanging out the game to make it happen. You know, I'm not trying to be salty to SE there. It's just a little bit of a hope simple observation that, you know, when you look at all the problems that we have on stuff like multiplayer, it's usually because we've felt the need to completely cheese the system in order to make something work properly. So, just, where I'm going with that thought. But, yeah, I'm really rambling tonight, apparently. Survey sites are not exactly where I'm landed, but this will do for now. Gets me in the neighborhood, at least. Are we doing on... Yep. Don't really need that big of a run of everything here. There we go. That'll get me a bit of iron without having to break down some steel or anything. Rest of the nickel. Now the trick I've done with this is the daytime here is 4 hours. It's not 2 hours like it normally is by default. So eventually it is going to get dark and it is going to be darker for long, which is why I've got the reactor off on standby, which is why I really need to find a uranium deposit around here. I mean, really, when you get down to it, you can kind of somewhat easily survey just with a jetpack and drill. Certainly for the surface stuff, more or less. Let's see, am I heading towards the lake or away from it? Probably away from it. Nope, towards it. Okay. Let's see, there's really got to be something down here, right? It's ice. That would be really nice if you could turn on or off specific signals with the drill and ore. Okay, there's iron down there. That's good, but not my immediate concern. Really like to see... Mind, I have to be very careful jetting around because I do not have another bottle on the ship. So if I die and lose the bottle, I am SOL. Looks like there might be... It's just gummed up shoreline? Yeah, gummed up shoreline. I'm not worrying about... ice. I have plenty of that back home here. Oh, I kind of really wish I had the world from PvPvP, because that was a beautiful location we set down in. And when you set down something like...
Low.
Uh-oh. Yep, take it down time. Yeah, thank you for telling me the fuel was critical after I landed there. Alright, well, there's death number 1. And... I'm not too far away. I should be able to get there on one run. F. The... Thank you for turning off my inertial damp scheme. That was incredibly helpful. Wow, 2 deaths. Okay, now it's on. I should be able to try a short hop burst there. Yeah, that's probably going to happen a lot because inevitably I will be doing something and will completely forget to keep an eye on my H2 supply. But yeah, the map we were on in PvP was absolutely perfect for this sort of stuff because we were within jetpack location of just about every major ore vein we could want. Changing the game to work properly. My thoughts on speed mods. It's... I think at that point it's a case of trying to... I gotta channel a little bit of Red Feral here and say I can understand why the speeds are set the way they are. Because if you have too fast of a speed, trying to keep all of that in sync on multiplayer would probably become a bit of a nightmare. And, you know, again, it's a case of, you know, what can you get away with on multiplayer versus single player? Is it something suitable for single player? You know, I mean, I would like to see slightly faster speeds, but then at the same time, now you're also talking about if you really start speeding things up, then you also kind of need to start talking about, well, right off the bat, atmospheric friction to begin with. You know, don't kick the body. Please pick up the body. Thank you. 26% hydrogen, and somewhere around here, I thought I saw a ore deposit. Now, if I went all the way over here for nothing, I'm going to be a little annoyed, because I definitely don't have enough to jetpack back right now. I'm not seeing any sign of that, just ice, ice, and more ice, baby. Yeah, speed mod, I mean, you know, like I said, you have to start worrying at that point, okay, really should start dealing with atmospheric drag, atmospheric air friction. Then at that point, you also start talking about, well, okay, stuff like the re-entry mods. You know, you should technically have to burn up on re-entering atmosphere. That's what I'm looking up there. That's what I was heading for when I suffered such an inglorious common death. The reason why I keep lots of hydrogen on me in uncooperative. And why I do it in PvPvP as well. Somewhere up here. Don't really care about... Well, I should care about that other body location because I can scavenge stuff off of that. All of that for a silicon deposit, which I already have. Thank you, game. That's really welcome. Now I gotta try to dance around your washboard terrain. Because heaven forbid... really? Yeah. I mean, if you guys didn't see my POV on the uncooperative world, you'll note that at one point in looking around, I found a lovely little crag that has... That's more magnesium that I'm picking up. I don't need more magnesium. I need things that power me. I only have 3 solar panels, and I've dropped one of them already. Over on the world we're on, I've noticed, at least in one spot, there is those tiny little pixel-like voxel deformations near where our base is at, which is one reason why I'm trying to be a little cautious as to where I've been flying around with my, as Tex put it, the Tonka toy truck. Which honestly is a good name for it at this point. It's yellow, it's big, it's got big wheels on it, it's just a mutant Tonka truck, I guess. One for space and one for plants. That would actually be a little more doable. I could kind of see the 100 meter per second on planets and maybe something a little faster in space. The key thing that I would want to see them keep, though, is the players do need to be, you know, maintain the balance of ship speed versus player speed, because it's nice to be able to catch up when your grid when it gets away from you. Even if it's a slow, painful process that then makes you think about the next time you potentially get out of a grid while it's moving at top speed. you can at least catch up to it, so it, you know, forgives you that mistake. There has got to be uranium somewhere around here. But I don't think I'm going to find it on foot, and I'm out of hydrogen, so best bet at this point would probably be to go over to that silver and make myself some extra hydrogen bottles. So that way if I die again, I'm not going to be completely SOL. An engineer's suit that you can switch to that has atmo thrusters rather than hydras. Yeah, that would be actually rather interesting to see. Well, I mean, think about it, though. The really screwed up thing when you want to talk about that is all this time, Keen has made so many changes to the game, and you'll note that the one thing that they have not changed at all on the engineer is that it's still very much a pure blue flame. You know, blue glowing effect like the ion engines. Yet it burns hydrogen. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Doesn't hydrogen burn with a blue-orange flame? I could be wrong. It's been a long time since I played around with natural gas type stuff, but I'm just kind of curious about that. Or like blue. Well, if it is, if anything, blue-white. But then again, why would ions necessarily be lighting up like the way they do, anyways? A player not in craft turn on dampeners mod. Yeah. Well, that honestly, what I would really like to see is that it's an option that you can turn on and off. I mean, there's so many things in the game that actually would kind of make sense as a toggleable option, if not by keyboard, and at least that's something that you can set in the options menu somewhere. I mean, I would like to see them put the crosshair very firmly as a keyboard shortcut, but that's just because, like, you know, probably about maybe 20% of the user base, you know, showing this off on YouTube or something, or grabbing screenshots because they want to show them off, and doing it frequently enough that going into that menu is a royal pain in the backside. Bright air mix, even normal lighter glass burns blue. Okay, yep. So that would be me being wrong in that case. I will completely fess up to that. The other thing I would like to see is for them to remove the need to be crouched when... And why did that phase out? That was being picked up by me. I wasn't right-click drilling. It would be nice to not have to crouch to drill down, considering that the size of the Space Engineer's drill is such that... Yeah, you're telling me this guy cannot drill down into the ground from here. Nope. Can't be done. Said I wasn't going to be salty, but this isn't salt. This is, you know, kind of looking at ways that I would like to see them improve the game. I don't really do stuff like those you know, top 10 things I'd like to see in Space Engineers in the next release type thing. I said I didn't bookmark the lander because I could find my way back to it easily. That assumed I had working jetpack.
Your health is critical.
Yep, caught that one at a time at least. I think that's just a case of it works a lot better on a multiplayer server, being able to do that kind of trick. So I'll usually do that in on Co-op or PvP if I'm going down off of something, and I'll quick toggle the atmo thrusters. Where in the hell? Alright, I'm breaking out the spectator camera as soon as I can get it down to the planet. You are here. Your wife is here with the traveler checks. Okay, lander is here. Real top-down satellite view going on here. And I am somewhere, and it is about to be night. So worst case scenario, that's silver, that's nickel. Okay, eye in the sky says I'm probably nowhere near that. eye in the sky can't even see where I'm at. What the heck? It's right over the hill, and I've managed to get myself completely and utterly lost. Alright, so if I head back towards the survey site, that'll get me there. Or I could just look over there and it's... Okay, how many guys saw that? The lander just off in the distance there, just before I was about to tab away, you know, go into the spectator cam. And painted the thing white for crying out loud so I could see it. Alright, so no uranium as of the end of day 1. Well, it's going to be a slow sunset there, but the shadows are definitely getting out there. Let's find Mr. Fiery and get some silver out next. Hanging onto the stone, because why not? Production. Oh, that's right, the assembler's off too. Power saving mode. What do I need for that? I know I need the silver. Oh, it is so nice having a one screen for everything that I can actually see stuff on. 100 bottle, silver, nickel, iron. Yeah. Should have... Oh, I probably don't have quite enough iron. Let's pull over. Space Engineer is the only game where you get to type ass and cock repeatedly. Demonetized, by the way, thank you. Not that I am monetizing the stream. Let's just do that. And get a little bit back. Assembly. Bottle, please. Silver, nickel. Thank you. Tick. What? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Wait a second here. That... You all saw me pick the bottle up off of the body out there, right? I mean, it's definitely gone now. It disappeared when I pulled it. I crafted one. What the... Oh, because I had that view on instead of that one. And the O2 generator needs to be turned on. And let's just charge up a power bomb here, too. See this, these, you know, that texture fixed itself with the that particular mod, but the other ones haven't. It's kind of weird. Look at that mod and see if that's a known issue. Hydrogen bottles 2. Production, because I'm inevitably going to need another one. A micro hover bike to get around. That idea I kind of like. The problem is the way I've set myself up here, and I did this intentionally. I've got enough power. I can make batteries. I did not give myself any extra reactor components. So in order to make those, I do need to find... Oh, what do you know? I forgot everything. Space Engineers, let's have a talk about... I can always beg, borrow, and steal from the base, so I'm not too worried about running out of it, but I'd like to actually have some more, so I need the 3 to build it that way. So that will be 11 to 3 as soon as I pop over some of that. Okay, nickel, that, we've got a little bit of iron on the side. Good amount of nickel now. Decent amount of silver. Some gold would be nice. Because that and cobalt. Oh, cobalt grids. Oh, God. That would actually be something I'd like to see them tweak a little bit, is cobalt in the game. Because making heavy armor is a royal pain because of all the grids that you need to make it. It's not cost effective in the slightest. I got recharged up pack. Let's see what we got over this way. Eventually I'm gonna run out of daylight, so let's scout for overhead ores while I can. And this, how many of you are just seeing me drifting along with my damp soft too there? Iron. Oh, I guess I need iron. It's not that far down either, which is nice. I mean, unless it's cheaty iron. Keen. We're not doing this again. Okay, there we go. Better not be toying around with me doing your magic a little. Oh, there's ore markers here. That means that there's ore here, and then they turn out not to be there, and I have to go exploring to find the ore. Which ironically, the last time was uranium as well. And then inevitably have a rover explode on me, because, you know, multiplayer. Not salty. No, not salty. Just rehashing past events. Either way, iron ore. What I'm really looking forward to playing around with Pam on this is for mining, actually, because that would make it very nice and easy to get all of the... Basically say, okay, I'm going to designate this entire chunk to drill out and just drill down deep enough into it. For those of you who haven't seen the preview video on that, basically what you do is you're taking a craft, you're sticking a sensor block on it, and a hot cobalt. Perfect, perfect, perfect. What you're doing is the craft and the programming, the script itself is set to drill out. I'm going to go through iron to get to this, darn it. Alright, I need to unload. Let's see, how far away are we? That's a survey site there, silver's there. Yes, I'm going to get a proper GPS on this thing as soon as I get back. There it is. But, what was I thinking of? What was I saying? I've completely lost train of thought. What was the mod you guys used on the trade surplus on the uncooperative stream to build the field bikes? Actually, that would be Sanchez, or not Sanchez. Brain here. Hang on, I will find that shortly because I can definitely find that sucker. That is. In fact, I'm pretty sure I have that one on this world. Let's see. Mods. The trick is, it is a little difficult to, yeah, Sanction Corp's hover bike. That's what it is. So that's the one by Tartaros Incorporated. I believe that's the kind of the fixed version of it, basically. And works pretty good, but it is a little difficult to build with those kind of micro blocks. And to compare it, I can't really compare it to Space Engineers, or not Space Engineers, Medieval Engineers, unfortunately, because I haven't actually played more than 66 hours of Medieval Engineers. That was when I tried and dropped pretty early on. I mean, it looks pretty nowadays, and it looks pretty good, and I might play around with it in the future, but not necessarily this stream. I was kind of expecting Wasted to be playing more of that tonight, not being Space Engineers 2, because now I got two of us competing with each other right now. But I just need to do something in SE outside of what I'm doing elsewhere. Okay, so that's unloaded. We need Cobalt. That was over by the iron mine. And good timing, because it's about to get dark over there. Alright, there we go. Sense of direction actually worked this time. Come on, game. I'm so sorry it was not crouched. How dare I not crouch? Yeah, what I was thinking about was, actually, it's why I've got one of the cockpits that I've got on here. I was heading towards Cobalt, and now a game has decided, no, I am going to move Cobalt on you again. Just have accurate ore locators. That'd be kind of nice.
Inventory.
And like I said, a slightly better ore detector would be useful too.
Inventory.
Yeah, I mean, and again, it's one of those things. If I can understand why it's not, you know, why they've got things scaled up the way they are, but at the same time, if multiplayer is really this optimized, and I would say it's probably about 80% optimized, and hopefully the rest of it will come as they start tackling some of the survival mechanics in the game. I think they can turn some things up. Not all of it, but... Okay, now let's see if we can get to that Cobalt. This could actually be a fun little spot over here to test out that mod on. Because I'm kind of thinking it just drill directly into the mountain. I mean, this mod was pretty nice. They were drilling at an angle, so as long as you've got a mining vehicle that can basically support itself while it's fully loaded. And I mean, it's a pretty slick script. Let's be honest. It's something where you can say, okay, I've got, you know, got a miner. I want you to, it records the path from where you start from, or at least it's one method of operating it, to where you're mining. And what it means is that the script can detect when you're full and take you back to like a connector point to unload. So it makes it very efficient for doing something like tackling a big, you know, excavation challenge, basically. The rest of those despawn. Need Cobalt. I'm not going to complain about having iron, but I need Cobalt. And it's getting dark, and I really do not want to be flying around in the world in the dark. Because that is how I slam into hillsides, and that's not fun. Well, it's not fun for me. It's hilarity for you guys, but... it's just stick it there, kick it out. Into the connector of all places. Okay. You be you, game. Yeah, Sanchin Corp hover bikes. I mean, to be honest, I really wish I had blueprinted the that little thing that I built, because it wasn't great, but it wasn't too bad for like a first-time construction effort. That was one of the better builds that I've actually had on. That might shock you, because the Thug's not on the list of top 3 or 4 actually. Come on, blue stuff, blue rock. Show me the blue rock. Ha. Come on, this is single player and it feels like it's lagging me around and bouncing all over the place. It's kind of game. I was trying to pick up the rock I was standing on and the game was not letting me do it. What? Hey, space engineers, I'm going to teach you how you're supposed to be letting me mine. Wouldn't that be exciting? Good grief. Almost no limits or issues, and with all the best spots as official. Yeah. It might have almost been that at one point, but...
Inventory full.
Yes, I know inventory's full. It's because I've got a... Of course I'm going to find nothing but... I want to dig a pit to dump my stuff in, and of course I'm going to find nothing but the ores I want to keep. I don't really need 1,000,001 pieces of stone, but because of the way these are stacking, I can't keep the stone there and pick up that. Alright, close enough. I'm getting out of the cave. Let's do that. There's a reason why I'm flying with the damps off. Because if you do it right, you can save a little bit of hydrogen, I think. Certainly feels like it most times. Alright, let's call up that refinery and get some cobalt in there. Prioritize the iron. Perfect. And this should be pretty decently lit at night. I did get some exterior lighting on here. Just enough that you can kind of feel... It's not, you know, ridiculously bright. It's got some decent illumination around it. And I think I even got one inside. I think I did. Yeah, I got one right here in front of the cockpit. So it's not 100% bright in here, but good enough. How much did I drain? Oh, that's 50% of that bottle. I am definitely going to need to pick up some ice at some point. Alright, now let's talk about build and repair. Yo, Bob. What's the deal? You've got plenty of iron on board. Are you seriously telling me that you cannot draw iron through that? Med-based make things so interesting. You've got plenty of... Wow, what is going on with Bob here? He's trying to build the interior pillar on the lander there. Interior plates. Okay, fine. If it will make you happy, Bob, I'll queue up some of this stuff so you can fix that. Build that stuff properly. Oh, I should. Remember, I am on the ground, and if I move in this thing, I will jiggle it. Gyro off. There we go. Now she's rock solid. There's no parking with this sucker. I'm not gonna have the ignoble defeat of having this thing suddenly flung from the world because a landing gear has decided to glitch out. Okay, you might be in fly mode then. Or not fly mode, walk mode? Walk mode, yep, there we go. Okay, Bob, have at it. Bob. Thank you. Thank you much. Okay. I'll start work on the base. A little too late for the solar panels, of course. The base isn't going to have power overnight, but oh well. It just gives me... Yeah, it's not much of a protective wall here. The cockpit I wanted to fool around with on tonight's setup is... Let's see if I can... This sucker here, the ARCM cockpit, because this is kind of hover bike-ish. Doesn't look like it's gonna place properly on that though. It's interesting. Okay, you don't want to place like this. You don't want to place like that. It's a beautiful looking cockpit, but it doesn't want to let me put it on a small grid. Oh, the interior plate, that's why. May have Bob, but I still have to have that one piece to get stuff down. It's a reason why I don't have tons and tons and tons of hours. Why my hours in the game are still small, because I still do silly mistakes like that. We are probably going to run out of a lot of stuff. Let's get you queued up. What can I make of what I've got? I can make some motors. They've got plenty of nickel for that. Gold for the computers, aren't I? Nope, so why do I keep thinking they need gold? It's like some bad training mentally or something. Power cells we should have plenty of. Construction components, that's what we need. I queue a ton of those up. Displays and more computers. Okay. Displays I should be able to handle as well. Oh, that's right. Did I even put an antenna on this thing, or did I go to the plane antenna? No, I didn't even put an antenna on the stupid thing. I went with the beacon. Reminds me, I can turn that on. That'll give me a little extra light, and actually let me find the stupid thing again. I don't even need the GPS. Silly feral. Production displays. Mind. Okay, 2 more computers and that'll be done. The ironic thing is with the elite welder and all the speeds turned up, I'm faster at building than Bob is in this case. You're back to building the base. What can we do for... There we go. Cockpit's finished off. We should have some steel plates on me. Yep. So it looks like it's got a forward cargo port. Actually, what I'm kind of thinking of... So here's the modular atmospheric thrusters, which basically, you know, they are the same thing as the everyone's favorite modular thruster design, but large steel tubes for it, huh? Oh, no, you don't. Oh, you're not sending me off that edge. You can try, game, all you want. Thinking of is... Not anything too ridiculously complex. Why it's not... This is a picky thing, aren't you? Alright, build that, and... You're gonna give me for a sideways thrust option here. I guess I could just go... Well, yeah, actually that way. And just to give it a bit more decoration. Now I'm greebling and I haven't even finished building it yet. This is probably not a good sign. You don't want to let me connect anything there, huh? Okay, that gives me all of those directions, and... What I want to do is put on a hover engine. The problem is it needs 5 gravity generator components just for the civilian version alone. Actually, yeah, 5 for... No, 1 for that. Okay, I might be able to build that then. Glass won't be a problem. It's... Let's see, Grav Gen requires gold, doesn't it? Yeah. The one thing I haven't found yet. Got plenty of everything else now, so I'm not too worried about that, but, yeah. probably also missing. Let's see if Bob will tell me what I need here. I need to get the programming block up so I can get the script going. Steel plate, metal grid, large tubes. Okay. Grid. And large tubes. That should start taking care of that. Gyro. Definitely need a gyro. Move the rear thrusters back one block. No, what I'm thinking about doing is just dropping them entirely here. So let me do that. And working with them from that standpoint here as soon as I bring the slope back up right here. So if I build this side to match. Not that way necessarily. That way? No, I want to do it that way. That looks much more in line with what we've got there. And now I can also get rid of... That's more like it. Gyro, let's get rid of that block. Probably a mistake to even think about putting the gyro there, because it's a lousy spot for it. Hover engines. Oh, I don't know. That elite grinder is going to be a problem soon, I can tell it. I'm thinking hover engine there, and eventually... Yeah, I can't... I called it. I did call it. I said it was going to be a problem, and sure enough, it became a problem. Alright, Bob. You deal with that. I will get this properly fixed up. So now I can build this thing out right now. Properly. No, I want to do is stick the cargo container is going to feed right off of this, because that's a... I'm assuming this is this pipes right through that block. So I want to kind of stick with that there, because eventually I could foresee doing like a small ship drill on the front, and just making this a very small personal miner. It's not going to carry much, I'll give it that much. I mean, let's see, that's what, 10,000, so yeah, double my personal inventory. It's still not bad, though. I mean, all things considered. Let's see what this, it's not going to let me zoom in far enough. Break out the spectator camera. Oh, not that fast. Not that slow either. I have an in-between speed. Preferably somewhere where I'm actually at. Oh, come on. There are times where it's really annoying that they stuck that as a control off of the shift key. Because then you get the right speed and you let go of shift so you don't adjust it anymore, and now suddenly you're going super slow like this. If I hold down shift, that's the speed I wanted. It's not too bad looking. I mean, for a game that doesn't have something like this with... I mean, look at that. The fingers are actually wrapped pretty nicely around the handlebar there. And the brake handle's even kind of modeled pretty nicely. So it's out further enough away that the fingers actually have clearance. We got that. We got more than enough room for the legs, surprisingly enough. Oh, well, that's how we're doing it. Yeah, his crotch is very firmly embedded into the seat of the ride here. You can't tell, but well, actually, you kind of can't tell there. Like, there's the. I think what you need it to do is do what the in-game chairs do when you get into the cockpit, and that is remove the remove or otherwise somehow conceal the jetpack, basically. Is that I actually have a console on this thing too. It's taking on the greenish overlay too. Okay. Alright, so I have a little horsey right here, like outside the, whatchamacallit. Survival isn't relaxing. Sure it is. Survival can be nice and relaxing and calming. And we're just gonna take a nice, calm, deep breath and really enjoy the atmosphere. We're gonna put this happy little block right over here. This is gonna be a special block for you and me. Because we're gonna have a nice, calm, relaxing night. Survival and space engineers. Where nothing ever goes wrong. I'm trying not to laugh. I am so trying not to laugh. Alright. Tweaks to the design as I do this, so... This is not gonna work 100%, but... I think we all know what needs to go on the front of this. Then, I do have the azimuth reactors, but I think for the small grid one, I'm gonna need, yeah, an ungodly amount of reactor components. I mean, not that's that hard to make it right now. I do have, no, not that small reactor. The other one, the nice tiny little 6-side guy, is this one I can hook up properly and still be able to get into and out of it. Superconductor conduit, though, is a problem. I believe I've already said that's not going to happen, isn't it? Superconductors. Yep, gold. Tiniest little bit of gold. I definitely do not have any. And the alternative would be an azimuth battery, which, well, we don't have. That doesn't start off with any power is the problem. Not finishing these off. I have. Guess I must be out of steel plates on the Bob there. Really, the amount of cargo I'm going to be able to fit in that, that's still almost 3 times my personal inventory. And I can fit the hovers on the side here. So I don't even have to grind down the front blocks I've got there. Those will work. Except I need gravity. Alright, what did I give myself for the thrusters then? It'll look a bit wonky when I do it this way, but it'll work. Large steel tube. Outrageous. Why do you make such a mockery of what I need to build? Yeah, I am completely out of steel plate. Huh, go fig. Oh, right, because it was working on building up all of that and the solar panels. Okay, that makes sense. Complete and absolute sense has been made. Continuity has been restored. So I did put the down in the back, right? Yep. Down and... Oh, it's not much to look at, but she'll get me there. And just to appease you guys, let's... Which I've got... Small ship, that's way too big. The medium cargo container is also going to be too big. Oh, that'll do. Small grid container. And one gyro. We're sticking that on top of the cargo container. Then just leaves the reactor. Or I go for, face it, I've got some nice stubby little winglets I can put on this thing. For a second there, I thought it turned on the spotlight on that. I guess that was just the bob flash I was seeing. I think I got enough solar panels, yeah, for one side at least. Wait on you. Don't know, because the game can't decide what block I'm looking at here. Look at that. Right in front of me, I can't find it. Thank you. And now you've... Game. Now I have somehow become stuck. See what I mean? You know, a nice calming night out, and Keen is determined to somehow make that not happen, just by all manner of weird glitches, like walking into the spot and it suddenly turns into a stalker trap. Alright, let's just go for a blue feral here. And let's see if I can. Jetpack, please. Don't know why I was deciding to jump that like an idiot, because I could go right over it. Side pods. Now we'll make these plain old white on the outside. There we go. That's not too bad. Aside from... Reactor. I do need to put a reactor on. That is a definite problem. Since I've got this anchored... Do I have that anchored? Need to be paranoid, game. You have made me paranoid. What I do is do that. Do that. There's a bit of a tail now. Steel plates. Oh, I know what I should also be doing. Assembler, Mr. Ass here, please, let me deal with all of this junk, because I really don't need it. Assemble you, and you. Not going to sit here and be in a situation where I'm looking at 20 million things, junking up my inventory. I'm not gonna do that again. Wow, that blew right through all of the steel plates that I queued up there too. I'm about to commit a cardinal sin. Let's see. Uh-oh. Bear tube. Oh god, no. 6-way connection. You can't handle that. Okay, so, let's see what we got here. Well, sorry, Steve Henry, that you feel that way, but I'm not forcing you to watch, so you are free to move on if you don't like me having a nice, relaxing night in Space Engineers. It's certainly your prerogative. I'll just throw that there for now. Now I can go into the sports. Okay, reactor power. Nothing I can't do is get the part in there. I should have put the uranium in first. That's okay. We can fix that. We have the time. easy enough to do. And we can just put the tube back. Yeah, that's what I was worried about. Power requirements are probably a bit too much for this. Let's also get rid of that landing gear, because... Can you tell I've got that janked all the way up there? Alright. 2 or 4 days and not a single thruster's active? Ah. Everyone. They look like they're good, but they are... apparently bugged out, because this is saying they're all incomplete, but I've got a build state that says they're perfectly fine. You want to possibly explain that one? Yeah, they're all definitely part of the same grid, so it's not like they're, you know, unsure of what they're doing. Blocks are all there. Just give a bit more wing support to it. Okay, so we got power. We've got a functioning gyro. Okay, I've got to admit, I am a little confused here. As far as the game is concerned, they are... I guess bugged out would be the right word to describe those tonight. What the heck? Should definitely be able to take off on that. We've got more than enough power on board. I mean, small reactor's not going to generate a heck of a lot, but let's just do forward and 1 backward, off, 2 up, left and a right, and 1 forward, 1 back. It's basic maneuverability there, but somehow the game's build state is glitched out, because that most definitely looks complete on land. Did that clear it up for you? Nope. Okay, well, now I guess that's why no one is using that particular mod. So grinding welding didn't fix, and... Yeah, I probably could extend the back of that back a little further, look a bit better. But I mean, I'm just even trying to get this thing off the ground. It should be able to. Gyro power. Well, I mean, it's got power. It's got a working spotlight on it. Gyro is lit in green, so we got power for that. Reactor's working, but why? The problem is I'm not going to be able to levitate that thing very easily at this point. No. Before I do that, in fact, I need a lot more steel plates than I've already got. Yeah, that's what I thought. Alright, get some more going. Why are you not letting... Wow, the game is really... Oh, it's because I got the block occupied. Hey, Farrell. Forward. Let's just do this the old school way for the time being, I guess. Okay, this will definitely work once I get those set up. Not very well, it's not going to be very power efficient, but... Just one should be able to do it. I mean... Go... Okay. Now I know we're not running enough power, so what I can do is... I can't can't split the difference on the back there unless I do that. So one forward, one back. It's going to be massively lopsided. And, well, the solar panels aren't doing me any good, and neither are these, so let's just say goodbye to those for now, I guess. That is an odd glitch, so if anyone happens to... I'm wondering if it's because Bob built them up for me. Let's see, that clears that side out. While it's tipped up over on that side, I might as well, right? On the other side, once it gets around to clearing it. Come on, Bob, you should be able to get rid of that in no time. Let's see if I'm going to place that. It's... Really? You're not gonna let me... Oh, I see what's going on with that. Alright. This is Feral being very derpy tonight. Bob? Hey. Bob has taken a lot of breaks tonight. Maybe it's just because I'm not used to only having one building. When I move that... Okay, yeah, that works. We've got backwards, we've got forwards. I'll rework. I'm trying to redesign this one on the fly for standard Atmos is not very easy. Keep the left right. And I didn't. At least they made it so you can do that. If you happen to hit the stupid default button, because it's right next to the OK button, you can back out of it essentially there. Two mount points and do options that way. It is definitely going to need some additional power. There, I have steel plates now, game. No. Again, could they lock? I'd love to see them lock that down. Let me put stuff on the bar and keep it there persistently. Backwards, forwards, we can get rid of this guy on the front. He's just sucking up power. And let's be honest, now if we're going to talk about something like this, it needs some wings. Preferably not pink wings. That kind of suck. Every time you come back to the base, your fighter would basically destroy itself. This looks ridiculous. This looks so flipping ridiculous. But it works. It's going to help keep the front tucked away to the back, and you can still get in this thing. Not enough power. Yeah, not enough power, not enough. Now, supposedly I've got... Oh, that's interesting, game. So you're telling me I have... This... Firing that thruster is not using power. Gotcha, game. You're glitched. There we are. Okay, so that is at 100%. So now what I need is the azimuth battery, except that's going to need superconductors, which we don't have. However, I do have plenty of stock batteries. This is going to be ridiculously top-heavy. Or ridiculously back-heavy. What's the center of gravity look like on this thing right now? Oh, I don't want to put the battery on it. It's right in the sweet spot here. Oh, game, I hate you. I hate you so much right now. Especially because that also is going to cut off the cargo container there. I don't have anything smaller to fit, because really the azimuth battery is perfect for this. Because I can stick it up there and it kind of almost becomes a spoiler out the front. Like a bit of a, like a nose scoop there. But in order to do that, I am going to need gold. Which we don't have. One tiny little bit of gold. Well, at least on the upside, I can't tell if that's actually dawn or dusk. I didn't even look which way the sun went down. Either way, I will hold off on this for now, because what I can really do... Plan A falls through, and Plan B doesn't quite work. And Plan C, hover, is not even an option on the table at this point. Let's just go with Plan... what do I have to? C, D, E, F, H. This is gonna fail so horribly, I can already tell. Yeah, wheel could not be placed because the, I might be able to rock the suspension into adding that. And it's just a case of where do I stick them out the front? That's gonna be Oh, do I dare make a trike? I could turn this into a trike. I'm not going to. Oh god, that would just, yeah. That would break so bad it wouldn't even be funny. Just a long-nosed car, that's all. There's a difference between relaxed and feeling ridiculously adventurous tonight. Just a nice, calm, cool night. Relaxing, hanging out with space engineers. Coming up after this, we'll watch some paint dry. Okay, let's see if we can turn it just slightly. Lucky I'm right on a grid line here. Yeah, perfect. This is almost now starting to feel like a Formula 1 car, actually, more than anything. Left side suspension, add the wheel, please. Thank you, game. Actually, nope, don't. Why did you act like you just placed something? Because you once again misplaced my welder. Let's see. Actually, yeah, it does kind of look like a... What I need is on the front. Let's see, I need the good edge. Okay, front spoiler, for lack of a better way to put it, and rear spoiler. This stuff is immediately going to get blasted off. I know that much already. I actually managed to get in front of the thrusters, though, so... That's pretty good. I could run the rear propulsion on that, too, to get, like, a little bit of a jet boost on it. And time for the right side wheels. Nope, you're not going to let me do that. Alright. Either of these to go on. Nope. Unless I grind out that block. But not an easy thing to get into, but right front. Nope. Ah, there we go. That welds up. as far as getting out of here. There we go. Problem solved. Then I just need to just turn. I like the idea of grinding this one down because half the craft is still sitting on it, kind of, but let's fix this while I'm in here. There we go. I love how that still says piston head already exists for that. Good job, Keen. There. That's ridiculously low riding. This thing is going to ground out and it is going to kill me. I can tell that already. But it's going to be fun. That suspension a little more. It's going to take bumps really badly because of this, but so be it. Oh, come on. Yeah, it's already bottoming out. Can't even make it over that. Oh, Feral. If it at least gets me around the local area and all the local mines that I've already found, I'm not going to be too fussed about that. Like I said, chill stream. Once I have the proper resources and can fit this thing to be actually hover, that would solve the problem. Okay, that steering and propulsion's a problem. Let's drop the speed limit. Steering is still a little on the sharp side. Back wheels that are kind of making it a little wonky. And now for the fun part, because I did these wheels weird, I'm not sure. Ah, got it right on the first time. Sweet. Keeping in mind that I am driving at night in terrain that I have no idea what is out there. Using only my helmet lights for lighting right now. Totally safe. Totally not reckless. Nope. It took off the spots off of this thing. Let's see if I can do something about that. Move the wings down. What? The problem is then they're going to be in front of the atmo thrusters that are still on there. I mean, they're off. They're adding to weight, and actually, that's, believe it or not, a good thing right now. So my mass calculation is on, but you are not showing it to me. Thank you, Keen. I would really like to know where my center of mass is on this grid right now. Spotlights. Lacy Blacky. Oh, now there's my center of mass showing up finally. Turn your back on it slightly or put a block on the grid, suddenly it's there. No, that's actually beautiful. That's right where I want that to be. I mean, really, you can get away with this sort of thing. It's just not going to be a very good off-road vehicle right now. But I'm in a pretty flat area of terrain here, so I'm not that fussed about this, actually. HUD back on, and like for instance, I can use this to go out to the silicon mines, or out close enough to it. And because I've got the wheel speed limited, it should keep me from slamming into the ground too hard. Which usually is a recipe for about 5 seconds after that to have the game suddenly violently whip me into the ground. But not tonight. Yeah, that's not too bad. Even doing a pretty good job of lighting up the train since I've got the slats on the lighting switched around there. So I got them horizontal that way and I've got them vertical that way, so I actually get a decent field of light out of it at the moment. Really need to see about though is getting that mining detector up and running. Because I really do need to find out where there is some material around here. Oh, I'm actually just thinking that is going to cause problems on the return trip because it's going to be much heavier. We can compensate for that because I'm on flat terrain. Let the suspension right at 100%. Trying to forge Thorsan so you can make it... Well, yeah, actually, that is a good point. I mean, at this point, if I go... For that matter, if I just go doing a Dukes of Hazzard jump off of any nearby cliff, I should be able to get some pretty decent glide slope out of it. Or a decent glide slope, I'm hoping. At least it's not the only one who can fly a vehicle. Saw that a couple streams ago. What I should have done was put a bob on this thing too. Just like a small one, not actually hooked up to anything, because that would have made it a lot easier to pick up the ore from underground.
Inventory full.
Man, okay, yeah, that must be getting darker then, because it was a brighter blue. Oh, this is the long dark on this world. Pick up some silicon, drop that off too. I know, I've got parts in my inventory. That's making it even worse, but yeah. It also means that if I manage to wreck this thing, then I've at least got something to work with. Okay, one of these blocks is going to be real, right? Yep, that one. I still really question Keen on the wisdom of having all those phantom objects show up in the world. That's gotta be doing something to the render speed. Having to render in all the physics of this block that doesn't actually exist bouncing around seems a little weird, but I don't know. Yeah, that's not even too bad. Got enough for now. Let's see, what was the other one I could get to? I could get to silver. The iron's a little on the questionable side. That one I'd rather tackle during the daylight. Nickel mine over here. Except that I know I've got tons of. Actually, here's a question. If I just turn on... So yeah, I guess let's just try it, see what happens. Probably way too heavy. And since I'm on the ground, it's obeying the... Yeah, I don't have enough, I'm way too heavy for that right now, I think. Well, it's already heavy enough to not take off, even just sitting there unloaded. Would have been funny if I plunged off a cliff doing that, though. Well, I mean, yeah, that, Richard Falk, I absolutely agree. It would be nice to see Keen have another use for stone in the game. Especially because the mechanisms that exist within the game for getting rid of stone easily enough cause the lag in the game. So you're either dropping it off and letting it sit there, or you're having to let it sit in the world until it despawns, or you're just hanging on to tons and tons of it and just sticking it out in the middle of nowhere. Or you're having to rig up like a drop system so any stone you pick up automatically gets voided out, which, well, I mean, that sucks too. Let's do a little surfing here while I have the drill out. Yep, nothing there. I should not be doing this at night. I could do this in vanilla, not with Space Just Got Real. But there's trees in this area. I feel safe with the trees. That's a bit of a hill there. I think we can take it. A washboarding about that. Nope. I really probably should just go back and make some proper detector components, because even that's better than what I'm doing right now. Which is just surfing while the car is in motion. Every time I get out of the car, it's putting my jetpack on, which I don't want. Don't try this at home, kids. I'm a stupid idiot. Alright, let's just... this bad puppy home. It works for what I needed to do, so I'm not complaining bitterly about that. And then what I can do down the road is actually give this thing a proper 5x5 wheels, and that will incredibly improve the ground clearance problem. But for the time being, that works. All the silicon I could possibly want. Yeah, let's fix this one here. Actually, that's a good question. I'm on 9-hour depletion on that. Reactor's not even on at this point. Can't complain. Should last until the sun comes up. Gives me time to think about what I'm going to do to this thing. Because I will admit there is a certain amusement to putting wheels on that. But I think I'd rather at least have at least something of a base established before I start turning this into a rover, because if I lose this, that's it. It's done for, because that's the assembler and the refinery in there currently. Take them out. unfortunately, it's kind of structurally integral to the bulk of the craft. That thruster's being held on by the assembler, which is on the side of the refinery, which is attached to the bottom here. There are no blocks actually holding the bottom in aside from this air vent in the front. And the cargo containers here. Oh, that and the med bay too. The med bay is also on this. Oh, actually, unknown signal. Where did you show up? I am sufficiently crazy enough to do this. It's going to look very impressive on YouTube, very professional, because I can't see anything, which means neither can you. Alright, fly into the hillside? No, I'm gonna stay upright here. You're coming down on a chute. I keep feeling like there's a light there that I can see, and I know I can't. Now I'm seeing it. There you are. Oh, great mysterious box. What are you gonna give me? Anything? Rainbow drill. Oh boy. There's one for the recycling heap. Stop, my friend. Let me lighten your load here. Well, at least I got uranium out of it. Needed a little bit of that. Of course, I have a 4-kilometer flight home now. To keep you from falling out of the sky when your jetpack runs out for a small... yeah. I mean, realistically, that shouldn't be a problem. I've got an entire lake drawn for hydrogen and, you know, 2 gas bottles sitting on me that, even though I've used up some of it while building the rover, there should be more than enough left here. I'd really be worried if I do that. Oh, too fast. Alright. No bigs. 3% of my health is livable. Alright, let's talk about the detector components. Iron, nickel. Heal them up. And where do I want to stick that on this thing? Doesn't really have to. Actually, no, I can just stick it out the back end like that. Stuck in another. Oh. Hey, Farrell, I'd help if you had your fingers on the right keys there. Buckle block on off and give me our whopping 50-meter range. I know, I'm not fully unloaded too. 100%. I feel like I'm getting much gyro steer on this right now, oddly enough. Usually I've got a gyro, the vehicle is nice and squirrely if I go a little left to the right, and I can get a little wiggle, but not much. Might just be able to scout an overland route to the iron ore here. Now, admittedly, if I really wanted to build something impressive for a scouting vehicle, I'd be doing something like what Splitsy did with the Tick. Because that is pretty darn impressive. Especially considering he's had that thing in combat, too. That looks like washboard down there, possibly. This could be dangerous if I don't take it just right. There we go. Not as bad as I thought it was. Not a single bit of ore that I have tracked over on this yet here. Which is kind of worrying. I'd love to see some uranium around here. Don't mind building solars, but I would really prefer uranium. This could be rough terrain. But it's not. The game is freaking me out again for no reason. Yeah, overland route to the iron. Nice. There we go. Now I'm picking up nickel over here. That. Iron, cobalt. So the cobalt mine should be around here somewhere. My hole for it, at least. Not too far from the surface there. That's the one that's further down, and there's the cobalt hole. Okay. Might as well get more of this small one out.
Inventory full.
What I would really like to see is, well, really any sort of system of dealing with the this stuff in a better form. The gravel. I mean, at least as far as drilling it out. I mean, it's one thing when you've got a Bob that can sit there and load up some of this stuff. Should be doing. Unload everything. Could build another small reactor on this too, because I've got the parts for it now with me. Can actually give you the power to lift this thing off. Here, uranium, uranium, uranium. Where are ya? Iron, cobalt, nickel. Oh, hey, guess what the game's doing again? Cobalt, 181 meters away. Okay, stream should be okay. I mean, it looks like it's still running on my side. Let's see if I've got any... No drop frames on my end, so it should be okay. It might just be on your end there. I hate having to say that, but at the same time, I'm quite relieved that it is apparently not on my end. I love that. Ore detector with a range of 50 meters, and it picks up an ore deposit from 180 out. Something's not been optimized. Yeah, that's not being salty. That's just downright being insulting. I shouldn't be that insulting. They have still, despite everything, got a game that I am still playing, having largely given up on it at one point in the past. Here you go, my friend. You going... Yeah, that's definitely terrain I don't want to go down. But I can try, but that's definitely washboard there. I might have a safe way down here if I've hit this one like the previous area. Oh, it's a little bumpy there. I'm gonna be in trouble if I have to try to get this thing home. Now I'm gonna be way down the valley at this point. It's washboard. And now driving carefully with Farrell. We're just gonna tap the brake button, just tap it in. Oh, I'm seeing sparks there. More sparks. Tell you what, that might not be something I'm gonna be able to get back up, but so be it. If I've got a ground rover for down along the ground, if I can still find some uranium, it'd be nice. Uranium and gold. And technically silver. Silver and gold should be together anyways, because, well, usually is. And all I've got is an asteroid for the silver, so it'd certainly be far better to find a slightly larger deposit of that, shall we say. Iffy. That's even more iffy. The other problem is I can also bottom the car out too with the cockpit sticking that far down, but like I said, worst case scenario, I can always feed it some 5x5 wheels. Guess that's also another reason I shouldn't be actually storing anything in the cockpit either. If I wreck that by beaching it here, it's going to be a long walk home. No, short jetpack height, really, but it's a pretty gnarly cliff edge there. And so's this, which is not what I wanted to get into. Yep. Come on, gyro. Give me some power to get over these rocks. This way. Can I... You know, seeing all of that sparks is making me just a little nervous. Sure, I'm not wrecking anything down here. Could try engaging a little bit of atmo power. Can't get in from that angle. That's annoying. In fact, let's do that. Let's find... Which thruster's the down one here? 11. problem is it's cutting off the steering as soon as I do that. Oh, but we got a unknown signal. Why, that could be anything. It could be a Badger suit. Come on, car, you can make this. I know you can. Definitely needs another gyro. That would definitely be helping matters out pretty significantly right now. That was bigger than I thought. Yep, that might be the one that finally gets me stuck and done in. Are you holding a position on that? Alright, let's do this then. I said I've got the parts for a spare small reactor and a little bit of uranium to put into it. Courtesy of Mr. Drone. Problem is the wheels and the thrust are acting independently of each other. Except in that case when I need my 4-power. Back me up. Yeah. Come on, I know you can. You've got the gyro power for this car. You're not that heavy. There we go. Okay. Hang on, picking up iron. Yeah, I'm picking up the edge of the deposit from just over the other side of the hill. Alright. Okay, guess we're gonna be testing how what it's gonna get out of this. The answer is no. You do not flip. There we go. Okay, kid, let's not roll. No. You're gonna roll anyways. You lovable little silly car. Okay, so what can I do to you right here? Yeah, I should be able to recover from that position. Okay, it's already taken care of itself. Okay, yeah, atmospheric's off. It's got the power now to handle it, but generally not gonna recommend that right now. To deal with everything on its own. Wow, I'm surprised I managed to make it through that without breaking this thing apart. Funny, I know I turned off the atmo thrusters. Why are you still on? Okay. I guess that's how I managed to take off there. Okay, admittedly, this is the part where now I'm starting to feel reckless. Which is probably going to get me into trouble. I'm not carrying anything too overtly valuable. There we go. Yeah, I've got just enough power to make the thruster somewhat viable. Piston on it for self-righting? Nah, we don't need a piston. And yeah, it's only one of the thrusters for sure. That's why I was kind of confused when I was seeing the plume from the rear-facing thrust actually show up, because that one was in the opposite position. Like a glove. Okay, not bad. You can do some really fun stuff with the vehicles when you're playing around with the dynamics of... Gotta put a walkway through here. When you're dealing with stuff like tossing things around, when you've got gyros that you can get out of 90% of it. Actually, I have plenty of cobalt anyways. Gold, though. Gold. I need gold. There needs to be gold in them there hills. Place my grinder. Game, how dare you? There we go. Really? Now you've... Oh, you silly little game, you. Got some other oddball stuff like the enhanced hand drill I could grind down for parts too. I'm guessing Bob must be doing some repairs there. Silicon, not too bad. Gold though. Gold is the standard of which I need. Gold and silver. The things of greed. Can't think of a rhyme to save my life during a Sea of Thieves stream, but, you know, middle space engineers? Sure, why not? Actually, it really wasn't too bad considering how heavy this was loaded down, technically. What are you... Oh, because I ground down the... Wondering what he was doing. I know. Bob, 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 stop, stop, stop. Please. I know you're trying to help, friend, but you're not. It's a perfectly legit grid that you've now knocked out half of. So what do you guys think that, aside from finding gold, it's going to be really impossible, short of large grid detector that's going to be able to move. Oh, I don't want to do that. Large grid to small grid adaptations are so painful. They don't work well, and I don't have enough. No, actually, I could have enough to do that. It's hard to say I don't have enough for a reactor. I don't have enough for an azimuth reactor. But the real limit here is the fact that I'm still I have no uranium at this point, and eventually these batteries are going to tap out overnight, and I'm going to be in trouble. So interestingly, these are... The interior plates are now actually glitched off the ground in the front. And... Did I lose that when I'm landing?
Inventory full.
Oh well. Don't really need the plates anyways, and it will look better. Well, that just doesn't look right, but must be getting wedged on the ramp up front. Also good to know. Let's turn off that center of gravity now that the game has decided to start showing everything about that. Alright, so we got this crazy little thing here, which needs some serious power, and it's not going to get it in this form. I've got a base that's got power, but no batteries to store anything with it, and I've got a somewhat mobile base. Be hard-pressed to take off right now on hold altitude, but it at least has all the refining capacity I need, and it's not great, but it works. But I don't have... I could go with the large grid detector on it and try to scout out that way. It's not gonna... That's gonna really burn through the power, though. O2... Look at that, didn't even tap one tank down beyond that. All that junk. Okay, it's dark. You know what? For the sake of the stream. It was almost daylight anyways, apparently. There we go. I can work with dawn. That I can work with. Because the thing about dawn is it means the sun's going to be up over there. And I didn't actually finish scouting out the lake over here. Seeing how there's an unknown signal sitting right down here. I might as well just be friendly. Those... I think you're supposed to be one of the jumpy ones. I guess you're stuck there, aren't you? A leopard welder. Gee, I don't have a million of those. Oh, it's so much easier to clear up these little points when you've got the welding speed or the grinding speed ganked up this hard. Oh, fine. So I took a little bit of a ice chunk to the knee. Come on, Gold. You're supposed to be out here somewhere. Magnesium, silicon, nickel. No gold. I mean, ideally, this is perfect terrain for that, that giant hover tank that I had. Or the hover truck. The Tonka truck. That would be perfect for this. Huh. Cobalt. Gold, 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 and silver. Show me the shinies. Build a large grid rover with the resources I've collected. I could. Oh, hang on. Silver. Silver, silver, silver. Tell me there's a hill here I can get to it a little easier with. Because where there's silver, there darn well better be gold. Oh, nope, something better. Uranium. Perfect. Alright, let's bookmark this sucker. Because this is almost as good as gold for me right now. Okay, we're in that. Uranium is still another 31 down. I hate when I have to do this sort of thing and go around a deposit. Oh, great. Yeah, you can go even further in that direction. Holy moly. What do I do? Find the world's biggest silver deposit here, or what? Or the world's deepest uranium deposit, take your pick. I need a jetpack just to get out of this right now. Cobalt's there, uranium's still further down, and so far I'm actually managing to make a walkable tunnel. You know. Okay, there's some right there. Ah, yes, black gold. Yeah, I probably can't get out of this. Yep. 5 seconds in the uranium mine, and I'm already dug into a pit. Always seems to happen anytime I dig a uranium mine. I always manage to wind up in a hole that I can't get out of. So yeah, now I'm definitely thinking large grid rover. I pass it over here. That. No, I can't. That just actually cut me off. All right. More. I was going to say that should be a little more passable, but apparently it's not. Suddenly, derping hardcore trying to do a walkable mining shaft. That should be a bit more walkable. Tiny little outcrop there. There we go. Now I can't get out this one. This is why I need to, if anything, I need that ship, that PAM ship. Although, I don't care so much now. I've got a decent silver mine. Should I pick up any of that silver? No, I didn't. Might as well grab some while I'm here. You fake or real? You are real. The other rock was fake. Okay. Oh, come on. Really, Keen? Tired of your little fake particles. I mean, really, did we need particles that, you know... Actually, I got some sunlight glitching over through there, too. There's silver here. There's got to be gold around here. I swear, every silver deposit I've ever run across has always been mixed in with gold, till now. At least if it's not there, it should be in the area, right? Alright, well, let's drop this stuff off then. At least I can get the uranium going. And start work on a large grid. Should have enough time to get that done. Right about now is when my hydrogen is going to run out. That's okay, the sun will be up pretty soon. And I've got some goodies. Some silver, that to you, and let's just carry the rest on me here. Alright, large grid time. Ease of use. Let's just build right off the edge here. Trying not to build another Tonka truck, but at the same time, can't help but think it worked. I do have hover engines, but like I said, I need to find gold before I'm going to be able to build the... whatchamacallits for it? The... The hover setup I did on Unquap was working out pretty well. I'm pretty pleased with how that turned out. That wasn't the 5x5, that was the 3x3's large grid. I forgot about that. You're not going to place because of the, whatchamacallits, the thrusters are there. Okay, because I can put you there for the time being. Hold you. Forward weight. And most definitely a gyro. Ooh, I know what I can do with this. Let's see if I can find the right one. Perfect, that's the one. Oh. And through the floor. Out of interior plate or something? Must be. Huh, no, I'm not out of interior plate, but it's still not letting me, place that. About to be, though. Should be anchoring just fine on that block. What is the game's deal all of a sudden with not letting me do things? I can place any of these blocks. It's okay, I can still do something interesting here. I can't help but love this catwalk mod. I mean, this is just such a joy to work with here. Ah, grids. Need grids already. No, the nightmare has begun. Great, I'm probably not welding these in the right position now that I'm kind of looking at it. Kind of is hard to tell from the preview model which way the grids are supposed to be going. Like this technically, I believe, should be the other way. Right? I don't know, it's hard to tell because of the way that these clasps work. I mean, they're over the... They look like they clamp on the top there, but... Oh, it doesn't change the fact that I do love these things. Maybe not so much that they're not welding, however. That's, Blazes, are you... I can place those just fine, but I can't place them... Okay, now I'm wondering if I just might need to restart the game, really. You guys all missing. Aside from everything and a ton of interior things. Alright. Fair enough. Heck, I'm out of interior plates right now. That's not helping. Alright, well, we work on getting that built up. So I should even be able to just do any... Wow, game is just not letting me play today. Well, not this not letting me play, it's just doing weird things. Alright, cockpit. Ooh. Hello, what are these? Cockpit. Oh, I know what these are. These are for parts to... small ship parts. To fit the fighter cockpit. I'll bet, like, that's supposed to be the edge. Maybe? I don't know. Either way, it's not available for a small grid, that's for sure. Or not available for a large grid. You have... Well, game, if you're gonna throw it at me, I guess I might as well go over and investigate, right? Mid-air interception, and I get nothing from that? Aw, oh, come on, Keen. That's a disappointment. It's the first time I've ever managed to catch one of those in mid-air. You guys are probably like, oh, why you have the grind and welding speed turned way up when you've already got Bob? Well, the matter of the fact is, sometimes it's just quicker to pull out the tool and get it done yourself. And the other thing is, we got one little bit of a stream that I can do a week for this, and not much other time to really dedicate to it, so having slightly faster everything really does come in handy. Carbon blocks, there goes the neighborhood. Yeah, you are 100% correct. It's all over. Really out of the range of the welders on that thing? Actually, that's what I should be doing. You, my friend, need a Bob. Not gonna let me do something useful, like actually put it in here, are you? Acting like there's a block here, but there's most definitely not a block there. Put you off the edge of that block. Okay, no, there is the block. Okay, that is what's going on. All right. Yeah, I see what's going on. It's the only complaint I have for the OH catwalks is they look really nice, but until they go in, you can't really tell what the heck is going on. Computers, reactor components, construction components, small steel tube, computers, and partridge and a pear tree and an order of large fries, please. Aha. Oops. A little bit of everything. Smorgasbord style there. Okay, so we got a cockpit over here now, which is good. I can recharge real quick. You're gonna dump me out on the ground when I get out, aren't you? No! Oh. Game decided to spare me. Oh, nice. Some components. Yeah, I really am kind of feeling the medium-sized cargo container for the large grid here. I guess I need to get some... It's a little hard when you don't have someone playing quartermaster for you all the time. Interior plate for that, and a lot of them too. I should get an antenna on this too, because then I won't have to necessarily stop what I'm doing. Oh yes, please finish off this, Bob. I do need another one going. Small steel tubes. Darn you. My weakness. interior plates on me. Okay. Oh, they're over here. They're just not gonna let me do that. Going. Oh, tubes on all of those. That's where they're all gonna go. Ramp it up. Yeah, okay, so I can build that there, but not... In what universe does this make sense? Wow. Okay, I take it back. The OH catwalks look really good, but it is a pain to work with them in some aspects. Guess I'm just gonna have a catwalk or a smokestack coming out of this thing. Much as that is amusing, that would turn things absolutely... It would wreck things as far as stability goes. So really, that's not much of an option. Okay, no, you put... I doubt that's a real cargo hatch. It's like right between two blocks. Alright, so I got a reactor I can't feed from that. Wheels that I can't place because one side's supporting it. Fix that easily enough. Fast on the draw there, Bob. Good job. Like a bot that keeps me on my toes. Alright, so adding on side, get out of the way so I can actually add the wheel. And since I said this thing is not going to take off the ground of the ground again, really. Let's just go ahead and make it official. Have to be careful, no, because the refinery's under there, the solar panel's held in by the side plates, the beacon's technically attached to the solar panel, but also attached to that, so it should be safe to remove that and that as well. It's just a case of... Gotta be careful with this because I could detach it just as easily this way. Just as easy to also send it into orbit because of block interference with some of this stuff too. Play it safe. Let's see. Wait. That'll work. So, I'm trying to get this dealt with. Yeah, like I said, if I'm chilling out and I'm not really all that fussed about trying to make sure I'm doing something cool or neat looking or anything, you know, SE is an enjoyable game. I do enjoy playing it, you know, despite all of its foibles. When you can just sit back and focus on just, you know, hey, I want to do something that's fun. It works. I mean, if you're trying to do it seriously, it's another story. I mean, you know, I've always wanted to do a survival series, and I've just never bothered with it because every time I tried to do a cool idea, the game would just basically vomit all over itself, for lack of a better term. And you know, now I guess that isn't going to work. You're supposed to be attached to the end of this, the solar panel, but it does work that way, game. Let's see if I can get rid of these guys. Ooh, nope. Not get rid of that. Okay, we can fix this. Not a big deal. It was only just, you know, the support holding the craft up in the rear, you know, that's no big deal. Changed the color of it, and it still went ahead and did it anyways. Let's see what color I get rid of. Carefully on this side. Still attached, you're attached. Not get rid of you just yet. Of course I've got this stuff in inventory, I just need to change color. That should hold it up there, and that should hold it up there. So I might as well do that, really. I'm gonna go be efficient about it. Let's go with the fewest blocks I have to worry about. Yeah, it should still be stable enough. That's what I get for trying to build way too close. Okay, so I've got that, I've got that, I've got that. A lot more detector components for what I want to put on this thing. Let's go back in your proper spot. That'd be great. 25 detectors, computers. Okay, we can. Just need to make sure I have them. I was gonna say, you definitely have. I mean, that right there, just seeing the delay on production of something, that just... Something isn't quite right with some of the optimizations that are in place. I mean, don't get me wrong, they've... All things considered, they're okay. They just don't really seem to always kind of behave properly. There's weird things like, you know, that halt when it's trying to search for and move things to the cargo network that make you kind of wonder, well, how much of the cargo network really got optimized versus how much are they holding off for overhauling, basically, as part of the survival experience. Mining detector, reactor, gyroscope in case I need it. Hopefully I won't. Moderate center of gravity. Do not need support blocks anymore. Remember, before I take this thing out, or off of the sprue here, I need to get uranium loaded up in this. Half of what we've got, and oh, by the way, since I'm at the O2 generator anyways. Alright, where do I want to stick? Where do I want to stick? Brain, uranium, right. Power is good. Power, we've got mobility, we've got limited amount of storage. That's still pretty decent. Now let's pop in the cockpit. brakes are on. Suspension's soft by default, so we're in good shape there. Game, I very much have the parking brakes on. Need to turn them off because I detached the grid. Okay, did put those on the right way, right? I'm asking this after I put all four in place, and I know I put them in right. Because the big pointy end's pointing down. Feels like that is sitting way too ridiculously low there. Let's see what we can do about that. I am not Mr. Space. I cannot set wheels up properly to save my life. So I apologize for everyone. I am probably just throwing way off trying to do this. And same thing with the speed limit. Set you to 100 because you're bigger grid, so you're not going to recover as well. So we've got a Bob, we've got it hooked up to an independent cargo system. The thing I'm missing is... You get it from the bottom there, that's good. That... Some other parts, just bring some with me. Those. Ooh, there's wheels right there. In your face, wheels. No one expects the wheels to come out of nowhere. Probably some lighting would be a bad idea. In fact, I could do some interesting stuff here. That is... perfect, alright. Thought I loaded some construction components up. I guess I didn't. Simply out of those. Probably. Don't think any of us understand wheels either. I mean, I can figure out some stuff. I guess I'll need that for a beacon. I do want to have a beacon on this thing. It's kind of like I know some of the settings make sense to me. Like the fact that I know I stiffen the suspension, which means that if I take this thing off a jump, it's going to be less likely to take it. It's going to break more than absorb the shock. It's finding that fine-tooth area, and I think that's really more driver preference than anything else. Because I've yet to find anyone who really sets their wheels up the same two-way, and even between the vehicles that I've had, they're not even necessarily set up the same way. So can I... steel plate. Well, good for you, game. I've got plenty of this stuff called steel plate here. Gonna... dropping another one on top of me. Roger that. Barrel away! Can I beat out the chute deployment? Note I can go right through the chute to get to it. Oh, come on. I'm hitting that button. Hitting it, and then it's changing. Technically, I hit the button while I was in the air. See, now Keen has decided it's growing sick of me giving me things. Now she'll give me nothing. It's a great thing about the elite tools is at least if you've got to try to grind down something, it's being annoyingly painful because of proximity to the player and glitching into the voxel grid. At least you can still get it in that short little blip that you've actually got it in your system. Hey, I had just enough parts to finish that one up. Okay, so we've got a detector grid, we've got a very basic setup here. Pretty much unloaded everything I had in my inventory initially, but now I need to do a little bit more. Have to remember that uranium is a manual feed system, and there are no batteries on board. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go for it. Let's see what we can find out there, because I don't want to lose the entire day here. Oh, it's got a nice proper rumble to it. It's a pretty good stable base. I was a little worried about having that rear steering enabled. Dark spots over there. Well, dark spots are part of the terrain coloring. Take your pick. Uranium. All I need is gold. If I can get gold, I'm good. Gold, and I can run down to the lake, pick up a couple of things of ice, and that will get me into orbit relatively decent time frame. Take this, no problem. Oh, I realized I know what I forgot to do. Detector. Yank that up. Bumps. Oh, yeah, not a problem here. In fact, I may even need to turn that gyro down a little bit. I definitely got pretty tail happy when I gave it the usual kind of nose up attitude to ride it over the terrain. Uranium, silicon, magnesium, silicon, and that is being really annoying to get up for some silly reason. Just gotta keep the front wheels in contact with the ground. Bit of there we go. Rock crawling's not really that hard in Space Engineers when you get down to it. It's just a case of you need that gyro and need to know when to let the vehicle bounce itself around versus take control and, for instance, something like that to jog me a little loose, and then let the system kind of settle out on its own. Granted, I haven't mined up any of that magnesium. I shouldn't really be dismissing it so much there. But at least there is stuff over here. I thought I was just seeing weird voxel glitches at that point. Couldn't find uranium, now I'm finding it all over the place. Still no gold. Bounce? No, you're not bouncing around on that terrain. You're just acting really jittery on it. A little bit of forward grip so the wheels kick in. front up a little bit so that way the rears could kick in. And come on. Really? You're not gonna... I am grounding out there. Alright. Doing that backwards. I cannot believe that. How's that for skill there? Or luck? Take your pick. Oh, look at that. And, okay, yep. I'm happy with that. Hang on. I gotta turn the stupid, whatchamacallit off. Crosshair. And frame that just. Let's do. Let's do this properly here. Not the tallest hill, but pretty darn close. Let's see if I can get one over the shoulder. That's not too bad. Bit of a motion shot there, and exploding parking brakes brakes. The exploding parking brakes have indeed been fixed. Well, I shouldn't say they have been fixed. They are far, far, far less likely to cause your rovers to explode. Alright, enough fun with the scenic overlook there. Fun and stuff and things, and more accurately, gold, 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 gold. Game, please give me some gold. Other problem is, down from here now. And that way it's not looking too friendly. So, why not? Come on, back over the hill. Gotta be some gold somewhere around here, right? You know, if Keen's gonna hide gold anywhere, they're gonna hide it somewhere where it's really annoyingly difficult to get to. I would say this certainly qualifies back up in here. Oh, silicon, magnesium, uranium. Game, do you know any other ore types at this point, or are you just kind of trolling me about that? Yeah, that'll be fine. Anything? Something? Bueller? Bueller? Well, that's a big old cliff up that way. Oh, do I really want to chance that one? Hang on, I gotta get the spectator camera on this. I suspect the answer to this one is probably not without wings. I mean, this is something that... Oh, yep. I might be able to make that, but I would not be getting back out of there anytime soon. Not without doing some serious rock crawling and... Jeez, look at that. That's a... Which I could kind of get out... Yeah, I could get up and over that side of the hill. But yeah, definitely not without wings. This is a jump that needs to be done with wings. Without a shadow of a doubt. Because I could just power glide all the way to the bottom on that. Do I have everything I need to make wings? Probably not. Because they're large wings. Nope. Actually, I might. They won't be fully completed, but I do have the grids to at least make them. I just don't have the steel plate to do it. Should put an assembler on here. Well, let's see what we can do. Wing. And where can I stick one that's going to make the most amount of sense and not screw around with stuff? Absolutely and utterly silly. Why there, of course. Oh, that's right. You're probably not even set up properly for this sort of thing. But first off, turn on. Yeah, walk mode should be more than enough. Definitely have enough metal grid to complete. I don't know if you have enough steel plates to do it, though. They're short. And you're already trying to patch up damage I've already taken, which is not reassuring. Pull some parts. You and you. It's a little dangerous pulling out those parts, but just finish that off, right? Come on, Bob. Up. Got parts. Parts for days, my friend. Bob's being very reluctant to pull supplies out of common areas right now for some reason. And it's starting to annoy me just a little bit. Alright. No Atmo engines on this, by the way, too. Just keep that in mind. Sorry, I had to go. That music was playing. Nice flat area. Trees. And we're down. Piece of cake. This thing looks absolutely ridiculous now. Oh yeah, it's once you get the wings on it, it's not really a matter of being a question of whether it will work. I wonder if this might be good. No. Surface uranium. How rare is that? Oh yeah, it's the uranium asteroid. It's just right there on the surface. Oh, game, you trolly game. Some iron down there. Cobalt. Let's see, nickel, more iron. Game, why are you being so stingy with the gold? I just want a little taste of it. Just a tiny little taste. Oh, hang on. Okay, let's stop there because that lack of vegetation means I'm about to hit the low LOD glitch. If I continue going that way, the terrain is guaranteed to glitch out that way. It's one of the warning signs I have over the past few months finally picked up on, that I'm about to trigger that glitch. It's another thing that I wish they had managed to optimize in the newer versions, but such is as it is. Go. Keep it going on 3 wheels. Maybe I'll luck out and hit an ore deposit going up the mountain here. Uh-oh, I see another... Okay, now that loaded in. Okay, good. It's that little spot where the bushes don't load in. That's the problem. Silver. Surface asteroid. Don't need silver. I have a whole other load of it. Just some gold. Just give me something to get started with, game. I can't exactly go to orbit with no gold. Three deposits until he finds gold. Okay, yeah, there you go. There's the betting pool for you guys. Well, no, I shouldn't call it a betting pool. We'll get the loot box people upset. It would be the... How long do you think it'll... Aha! An asteroid. Well... Don't look a gift horse in the mouth, I guess. Let's unload and grab it. And the best part is, actually, Bob should be helping me out big time. No, Bob's not on walk mode. Shoot, 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 shoot. Forgot about that. Or fly mode. Bob, fly, 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 fly. Where are you? Right, never there when I need you. Come on. Walk, fly mode. Probably too late. Everything's already probably wandered off over the hill. And knowing Keen's trash cleanup system now, probably been removed from the game. Maybe, I don't know. Gotten them close enough. Alright, either way, this should help. Okay, there it is. Nice survival you have there. It would be a shame if flag were to happen. Just saying. Come here, you silly little voxel deformation shapes. Get out of the way. You're stopping me from getting all of this beautiful, beautiful gold. Or in the vernacular of what Mr. Daffy Duck, gold, 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 mine, 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 down, down, down. How's it going, Bob? You having any problems picking that up? Bob? Bob, we talked about this. Thank you. Better be picking this up. Oh yeah, yep, you're good at it. You're also getting all the frickin' stone, but... let's have a chat about that particular setting, because otherwise it's gonna be a fun trip back down this mountain. Gold, 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 gold. Stone, no. Gravel, if it's out there, sure, but... Until then, so long, farewell. Don't let the mountain floor hit you on the way out. In fact, what I'll even do, and that I have it down far enough. Thank you. Because if I get to a point here, there we go. Now I can be absolutely certain I'm going to get all of the gold. Because Bob's sitting right there now. Because the last thing I want this to do is start rolling down the hill the other way, away from Bob, so having it this close should help out. If Bob scratches my back, I'll scratch his, you know? A symbiotic relationship. Oh, I hate it when the game does this. Come on, game. Tiny little voxel explodes into a shower of rock. Right. Well, I don't think I have to worry about gold for quite a while. I mean, if anything, what I'm more worried about is do I have room for all of it? We got, oh yeah, plenty of room. The best part about these asteroids is I love how the gold part of the metal, the ore-bearing part, doesn't go into the dirt at all. It's like the asteroid lands and stays completely flush with the terrain that already existed. In what world does this make sense? Makes me wonder, doesn't it? I know, it's just because it's the way that they've applied it. It just shows up and surface sets it on the grid. But in this case, I suspect what I'm really facing... Yep, voxel glitch time, everybody. That's right, your favorite bug is back. Just time for me to have to worry about trying to mine through it. So that's going to be a game restart at this point, almost certainly. Otherwise, I have no idea where anything I'm working around right now is. There could be more gold under here, and I'd never know it. Unless I do this. Now suddenly, look, all of that gold that you couldn't see before is actually down here. Problem is now all the rocks and everything are too. You have to build a pit for that stuff to be drained into here. Plenty of room, you say? Oh yes, plenty of room. Keep in mind, I've got a ton of stone on the rover here that I could just pull out too. So it's not like this is the end-all, be-all of storage if I fill that thing up. there's plenty of things I can take out of it. Like, I will leave behind components if I absolutely have to, even. You give me the choice of having to try to come back here with another load to finish getting all this gold, or just lose a couple grids. I'm going to take the grids and just drop them. But really, the hard part is the fact that I can't see where I'm going because everything's getting obscured by the stone that's not being picked up at this point. I like that view. See right through the planet. Gotta love it. It's a very nice day down there today, it looks like. That looks a little bit over in these areas left. Yeah, now even the wall of the pit is not showing up properly. And then I come up over here and nothing's wrong. Except for the fact that this still exists. Okay, Bob, tell me you're grabbing the last of this gold, because I would dearly love to head out and... as soon as I get myself unloaded here. Yeah, plenty of it. Alright, let's just start ditching stone here. I really don't feel like trying to make it down off the planet with that much weight on board. Something about falling and dropping like a, well, a stone if I try to fly again makes me a little nervous. 122,000 gold. I think that'll last a while. That makes me wish I'd put a... oh, hang on. This would cause me some problems. That one for sure. This one... potentially. Look at this. Hey, can we do something about that? If it's that small, I really don't care about the 0.5 gold I've probably gotten out of it. I think we would all rather just not hit problems with that. And here is what's holding up the entire craft right now, actually, believe it or not. Nope. Oh, there must be another voxel somewhere... somewhere under the grid. Something else has got to be holding this thing up. Maybe wedged more than I think. Yeah. There is most... aha, I see it. Right here. Nope, now I got another one over here right on Bob's. Not scary in the slightest. There we go. Sorry, Bob. Didn't mean to, but kind of had to. Oh, I just saw the movement out the corner of my eye. And so, the lonely stones slowly gather their speed, making their way back to their humble nesting place. It is a visit they will only make once in their lifetimes. Crikey! Alright. What do you say we get home with this stuff? Because I don't really have much interest in exploring now. I've got everything I need. And I'm about 6 or 7k out, so... I've got to make it through some pretty gnarly looking terrain. Around some annoying trees. Come on, get out of here, tree. You're bothering me. that was the mountain I did the jump off of. So the way home is still kind of this way-ish. Uh-oh. And I can see the Lod bug up ahead. Yep, this terrain past this point is now questionable, and up on the mountain on the far left, might be able to see that those trees are hovering in midair. This is less than ideal, because now I have no idea what I'm trying to bounce across on terrain. We're gonna go back to where there is something I can conclusively say that I am on. Arc up. Sure, I've got to save with that, and I'm gonna reload that real quick because I definitely want to get home before the end of the stream, but I do not want to do that when there's nothing actually there to see what I'm driving on. That is begging for... Didn't update the screenshot game, apparently. That's interesting. Let's see how long it takes to load. It's 41 mods. Oh, now we got another. This is what the game is doing. In the background, when I'm trying to connect to uncooperative, is it's hitting a pause. And it's a random mod every single time. And I don't know why, because I had that save just loaded, so I know I've got the mod on the computer. And no, there's no way I could fly home, because I definitely did not have this stuff for an Atmo thruster, and at 6 kilometers away it would have been a really long trek to schlep that over. Even if I used the other rover that I've got, and that one definitely couldn't handle the terrain I was going on. Oh, come on, game. And that's what happens. It does that pause, and on the multiplayer client-hosted servers, what happens is the game gives up when the mods stop downloading. So it says, nope, 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 the server, I can't talk to the server anymore because it's being... My guess would be it's being prevented from talking to the server because it's still trying to download mods that's got its network stack gummed up somewhere. And it just doesn't want to acknowledge any traffic coming into it at that point. So it says, no, 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 the server is not, responding, and kicks you out. Then about, 30 to 60 seconds after that happens is when the mod downloading it finishes itself up. It picks up where it left off and finishes up. And then that's when it starts connecting and things get all wonky. Now I'm experiencing all of that in single player. It's worse in multiplayer because they hid all of that stuff behind the, connecting to server dialogue. So you don't even see half of the stuff that appears on those screens, unfortunately. Yeah, this is why I was having problems over here for sure. Okay, let's see. Just get me up above the worst of it here again. I might have to turn up. Yeah, I know what's going on here. Wheels, power settings. Speed limit needs to be turned up because I've taken on all this additional weight. Yeah, brakes are on and I'm still going backwards there. Friction settings might not be a bad idea to play around with at this point, but come on. Need to be stuck on that piece there. Alright, you do need to be stuck on that piece apparently. Friction! And just give the propulsion a bit more strength. What are you getting hung up on is what I'd like to know. point in going back down into the valley because I'd have to climb up the rocks at that edge. There we go. Not exactly riding the terrain like a champ, but she's doing a lot better now. Getting a little bit of air off of some of the crags in that spot. I mean, considering it's got a pretty hefty size of ore on it for a vehicle, I can't complain that I'm actually managing to get somewhere. Solar. Nope. Not interested. Uranium, other oddball sundries. Which is also not flying very well in that right now either. That was dropping like a stone there. Let's see, that's iron. Nah. I can mine that up locally. This should be fun. Yeehaw! Not quite. Don't have the speed for it right now, really. However, I should be able to get a little bit of air coming down this side of the hill, I think. Silicon, nickel, silver. There we go. Oh, tell me I can make this. Tell me I can make this, because this is beautiful. A little bit of a turn to it. Actually, that is a perfect rate of descent there. Except for the problem is that my base is up over that way. Oh, she's twitchy as all heck in the air, though. Let's see if I can bring it down. Beautiful. Get over this. Iffy. Come on. It's two-wheel contact. We don't want two-wheel contact. Give me three. Yeah, this is taking some punishment to get up that far. Okay, no. On second thought, that's a silly place to go. I don't want to go there. Let's see. Easier way up. It's a rough start. That'd be a rough end to that spot. I guess it was right under me. Gold. 50 meters down. With the silver, no less. Well, I got closer to mine now. Okay. Are being really twitchy when I do those gyro turns. I like it. side there. Small vehicle would be kind of fun to try. Gold. I flew over this lake at night. You know, was skimming the surface, did see the gold down there. Deep enough that only the large grid detector is going to pick it up because of the range. So, yeah. What's the deal here, Keen? Really need to... I'm hoping that's one of the things they actually will rebalance when they address survival. Is kind of making some advancements to how they're handling ore detection and everything. Come on. Get off that grid. Gonna be in the rocks. Might have to turn that gyro force down a bit. Kinda hesitate to because it is coming in pretty handy, but it takes a fine hand on the control to be able to balance it just right there. Probably just go right up this way. Come on. A little bit of forward momentum. Yeah, less gyro power, definitely. Yeah, the twitchy gyro, I just love how that actually works out. And if you do it just right, I mean, I can do a two-hand handstand here as I go. Until I hit a tree that doesn't want to break. Every other tree breaks off. That one? No, no, no. You're going too slow. That tree's gonna stop you dead in your tracks. But I don't care, because you know what? I see that home GPS a kilometer away. And the back of the ship may be battered a bit, and I may have had to grind off a few armor blocks just to have a couple to put on some wings, but you know what? I'm back. Downside is I don't have any way to easily transfer the cargo. So this could take a while, and that's definitely something I would tackle off camera. But at least I've gotten enough now to... Oh. No. You don't need to go play with your friend the ship. Okay, that damage should already be... Yeah, fixed. Perfect. And now we simply unload all of the gold. Right. Take a good day and a half to transfer that. Definitely gonna have to figure that out, but really that comes down to more of the, more in terms of a base setup, if anything. Don't run solar panel on this, or solar power. Batteries. 6 hours, 6 hours. Not ideal, but, I mean, default panel placement's not doing too bad. Let's get... I need a battery. So I'm gonna need some power cells. Power cells do I have on board still? Or 20. Okay, actually I should be able to make a battery outright with what I've got here. As I need something for this thing to charge up here. And since I have the other side of the base basically torn down because of Bob, put something useful back there. Even better. Let's get you out of the way there. There we go. Dual bob coverage. Except it's not building. You have 120 power cells in here, friend. Do you mind using them? You're completely wired up. You guys did see that I did have 120 power cells in this setup before I put this down, right? I'm not just dreaming. Oh, it built the one on the bottom. That's why. Okay. Darp. Darp, darp, darp. Should have enough to get that going, right? Not really. No, not based off of what I'm looking at there. Just carry over something of everything, would you? Just because it would make me feel a lot better if I didn't see you constantly grabbing stuff. I mean, here's the thing. Why don't they have the system, the assembler set up to pull a certain amount automatically that kind of keeps in the inventory? That seems like it would solve a lot of problems with stuff like refineries and assemblies, where it's continually trying to go out and grab things. You know, if it grabs a certain amount in advance, more than it really needs, instead of just the tiniest little fraction of it, and deposits it there for the whole job, then it doesn't have to keep going out and checking for more at that point. I don't understand Keen's thinking on that. I'm kind of wondering if that's where we'll see some potential improvements down the road. Okay, so split on that. I mean, granted, it's got limited inventory size, but really that shouldn't be completely killing it. Okay, so we've got some gold finally refining up. We've got 2 batteries now on the base, such as it is, stocking up. That many battery or solar panels, same amount of power that I'm getting out of that massive array over there. I like that. And I think about getting a backup reactor on the base proper. This thing definitely needs to be outfitted with more power. I can make superconductors now, so what I'll probably do is get some of that and gravity components queued up off camera, because really I would like to see this thing. I would like to see this outfitted like I outfitted the my rover on Cooperative with the hovers, because as nice as wheels are, you can't quite substitute being able to just hover over the terrain. Trick is I'm going to need more power, because that thing is going to be power hungry like this was, because I'm going to have at least thrust in the rear direction. Technically, it'd be nice to have them in all 4 lateral directions. Gotta figure out what to do about this base. I'd kind of like to keep it, but I would also like to level it out a bit better. It's not that far. Actually, if anything, this is pretty. This might actually be pretty level. And then I need to start building up more of the base, because it's not going to be just this. I've got some ideas. Like I said, I also want to, once I do have a flying vehicle, I want to test out Pam. I want to see what that's going to be like, and maybe use that to start actually clearing out a bit of an underground setup for us. I like how I'm standing here and the grid is glitching. Can you just back off that, please? Because you're making me very nervous. Why are you glitching? You're off. You're off. Make sure the atmospheric thrusters are off. Yep, gyros should be off. Hang on. Oh yeah, that's it. That's the look at that. I've even got the the detector off, and it's still picking up gold 210 meters away in the lake bed. It's just rubbing in my face that I went for a 6-kilometer journey to find gold that was 220 meters away. I don't like how this is doing this little jig though. Especially when I can't see it on the camera. Standing outside of it. Okay, regardless, something's screwy going on with that grid. Maybe it's because it's sitting on the, effectively sitting on that cockpit there. Definitely gotta get that rebuilt. I do like that cockpit, but yeah, definitely not, it's good. It looks great as a proper, like, roadster cockpit, aside from the handlebars, but not at that depth, unfortunately. It doesn't quite work out for a Formula 1 car unless I really built the tires definitely would need to go down one, then it wouldn't look like a Formula 1 car almost. Anyways, guys, we're coming up at 3:52, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the sim here. Plot to steal the 120 power cells. Worked temporarily. Yes, it did indeed, especially because I was completely blanking on the fact that I placed that one on the bottom there. Anyways, guys, thanks for keeping me company tonight. Like I said, this is really just kind of here to give me a chance to relax and do stuff where I'm not necessarily under the pressure to do things, and especially in light of the fact that the PvP stream is tomorrow over on Wasted Space channel. So definitely check out the channel tomorrow, because you'll obviously be catching some more of the joint antics of the red and blue team. Then we also have Uncooperative again on Saturday. I don't know if Tex is there this week. I think it might be another one of his bye weeks. I'm not sure. And I should say PvP is, you know, Tuesday and Friday. So we are working on wrapping it up, guys. Don't worry, it's not going to be this. We are getting to combat eventually, but it's just the case of that's honestly how this sort of thing goes when you start playing PvP setup with the genuine survival that's possible at this scale now. It just, you don't have this defined area. You don't have these tight conditions that you had to work in before, where your team was only so big and you had to not be far away, because otherwise you would stress the server to no end. And now we've got teams with, you know, massive resource collection and gathering capabilities and all sorts of stuff going on, and I think we got a good idea on how it's going to end up. I think you guys are going to like it. So anyways, as always, hit the like button down at the bottom if you like the stream. If you did not, dislike button is right next to it, but if you do, just hit the dislike button. Let me know in the comments what I can do to be better, because, you know what, in the end, it's the only way I'm going to find what you guys think and what I can do to make improvements. Like, for instance, the gentleman who pointed out that I was being rather boring tonight. Well, unfortunately, that's the nature of a relaxed, chilled out survival. Is I'm not going to be at the best of my game all the time. I'm going to be derping around and doing some weird things. Anyways, catch you guys later, and I will, I'll be ready for this one. See you tomorrow.